The aggregate list. You got that, Harry? Boom. At the top, Luther Burton. All right. Mike, I'll start with you. The funny thing is I only watched Luther in passing last fall because I was watching. He wasn't going to come out. And for some reason, I thought he was like 6'2", 6'3". He's sub 6 feet. And he does everything for that offense. He was a lot of fun to watch. What are your thoughts on Luther Burton, who is your wide receiver one?
Yeah, he's just that caliber of athlete that it's hard to fail in the NFL at the wide receiver position. You can't make up ground on this guy. He's so sudden in his routes. He's got a high-end top speed. He's competitive at the catch point and competitive after the catch as well. I think that's where he's at his best, and where we obviously saw him get featured in Mizzou because they used him in the slot. Just wanted to get the ball in his hands because he can create on his own at a really high level. I loved how strong he is. He's not quite, 207 pounds for a guy sub 6 foot is a really big wide receiver. Most of the time, those guys play running back, and you see that with the ball in his hands. And so I don't think he's a polished route runner by any means. I think he could take a leap in that regard and get to an even higher point. But I do just think like that athlete is going to have success in the NFL.
So, Rick, he played 81% of his snaps were in the slot last year. I thought he's one of the toughest players pound per pound that I've watched so far in this process. I thought he could catch the ball outside of his frame, even though his catch radius is smaller. To Mike's point, there's a lot to love, and the toughness is where it starts for me.
Yeah, no, I love the athlete. I love the speed. I love the ball in his hands after the catch. I think out of all the guys that I watched, I thought he was the most explosive playmaker with the ball in his hands after the catch. I think he has a ways to go as a route runner. I think that area can be refined and polished up a little bit. They do try to get him vertically, but most of his game is getting the ball in his hands quick and letting him do what he does with the ball in his hands after the catch. My biggest thing is a little bit lack of size, and for a smaller guy, and he's bigger, thicker built. He's built, like Mike said, a running back. But when I watched like Zay Flowers was a really polished route runner for a smaller guy. Tank Dell was a really polished route runner. I don't think this guy is in that category. Is just as far as route running ability. Is that stuff that can be corrected? Yes. But I think they're more worried about, to me, was more of an athlete than just a true receiver. Ladd McConkey, he does not run routes the same way Ladd does. So that was my biggest issue with him, is a route running ability. He does have a small catching radius. He prefers to catch in tight, but I did see him extend when he had to extend for the ball. I think he has good hands, but I really liked his electric after the catch.
Punt returner as well. He returned kicks, returned punts the last 2 seasons at Mizzou. All right, Rick, I hid the comps that Mike and I had for these players, so you'll find out in real time. So I'll let you start with your comp and draft range for Luther Burton.
Yeah, I think he's a first-round pick, and I went not the Ladarius Toney we've seen in the NFL, but the Ladarius Toney we've seen at Florida when he came out, and that was my comp because I thought Ladarius wasn't a real polished route runner, but a really good athlete and a really good explosive playmaker with the ball in his hands after the catch.
Kadarius Toney, you're getting L'Jarius Sneed and
Kadarius
Toney.
yeah. Kadarius Toney.
L'Jarius is a reliable player. Kadarius is working on some stuff. I don't hate. The thing is, these comps are similar as I look at them, but Rick, I'll let you be the ultimate arbiter. All right, Mike, what's your comp and draft range for Luther?
I originally sent in a different comp, but I'm going to pivot because after watching him some more, this guy came to mind. I think it's better. I'm going to Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Oh, you changed it. I like
the
that.
Play strength. I think that's where the role he's going to end up at the next level, similar to Amon-Ra St. Brown. So that's who I see when I watch him.
Rick, you have any thoughts?
No, I just think St. Brown is St. Brown to me is a much better route runner right now. But if he ends up being St. Brown, because St. Brown is strong, just like these guys, this guy is strong too. I think he's not the same route runner that St. Brown is. And this guy is way more explosive and faster, I would say, than St. Brown. St. Brown just plays a lot faster than when he came out.
First round, Mike, I'm guessing?
Yes, easily first round.
All right, Rick, hold on to your seat. You're going to love this one. Grab an extra squeeze ball. Going a little.
Are you going with your Pittsburgh Flash again, just like you did with Neighbors last year?
Who, Calvin?
Yeah.
No, that'd be disrespectful to Luther. I'm going with Golden
Well,
Tate.
it's kind of disrespectful to neighbors, if you ask me.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I was even down on myself after reading that comp. I blocked it out of my memory. Golden Tate.
Yeah.
Mike likes it, so that's all that matters.
Okay. It's because
First round.
He's a Golden Domer. That's the only reason Mike liked it.
Yeah, he's got to get gold in the title.
He's my favorite. He's my favorite Notre Dame player ever. I was at the game where he jumped into the band.
Oh, there you go. So. All right, we'll ask you, Mike, because you're the expert. Any similarities at all to Luther? I think Golden's the toughness is what stands out to me. I'm sure Luther maybe is a better athlete. I don't know, but I love the way the Golden played once he got to the league.
Yeah, the yak, this play strength. I mean, Golden Tate really always kind of kicked above his weight class. So, yeah.
All right, thank you. That's all. See, it's easy. It's not that hard, Rick.
It is for me.
First round pick for me as well, even though he's my wide receiver 2 as we sit here. Games to circle, Texas A&M. That's October 5th. And then, of course, Alabama's on everyone's schedule. Missouri, I mean, if you pay attention to the SEC, they're not a surprise team, but for people that maybe watch football on a national level, they're a sneaky good football team, and they produce players every single year that go to the league, and they got 3 or 4 guys last year. Feel like they'll probably have a few this year.